Ryuko finally gets to challenge one of the Elite Four members, and we find out that her homeroom teacher has glowing nipples. It's my review of Kill la Kill, Episode 6. Yes, I had to get the elephant out of the room. There's a scene at the beginning of this episode where Ryuko is confronted by her teacher, and she's a little concerned because she knows that he's involved with that other guy who's a part of this group known as Nudist Beach. It was slightly mentioned in the last episode. It's a hilarious name for the organization, and it possibly has something to do with the fact that this dude is always stripping, and he's got these big old glowing pepperoni nipples, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Otherwise, this episode was pretty damned awesome. We finally got to see one of the Elite Four members going up against Ryuko. In particular, we're looking at the character of Sanageyama, and he is basically sort of this like wandering gangster samurai type guy. He uses a bamboo sword, and I actually do like in this episode they get a little bit more into his backstory. We get to see a whole flashback of this character when he's much younger, going up against Satsuki Kiryuin and the other members of the Elite Four. I'm guessing this is when they were first starting the Honnouji Academy. But he's awesome. He runs this huge group of like Japanese gangsters with pompadours, and they all try to attack Satsuki at the same time, but they all get their asses handed to him. So Sanageyama decides he's going to fight against her, but he ends up getting his shit rocked when he tries to sneak up behind her, which he cannot do, and he ends up getting a sword right to the gut. The good thing is that he impressed Satsuki, so she has decided to let him join the academy. We learn that Sanageyama likes nothing more than a good fight, and he really wants to fight against Ryuko, so he has to get permission from Lady Satsuki. And there's a nice scene between the two where you can see that they have something of a love-hate relationship, and you can see even Satsuki tries to attack him with a friggin' teacup, which he just smashes, but he's able to block it with the hilt of his sword, which is pretty damned awesome altogether. None of the main action has even started yet, but you can already feel there's going to be a lot of tense moments. And you get two really awesome fights in this episode. The first one is Ryuko fighting against Sanageyama, and you get to see his abilities for the very first time. He uses his 3-star uniform, and he transforms into this, like, giant, almost robotic Bushido-looking, like, mecha. It's really sweet. You know, I love the mecha genre, so I'm already all on top of this. But what's really funny about all of it, it's essentially just big glorified armor. He's still using his bamboo swords. In fact, he has like 10 of them all together, which he has on all of his fingers, which he can use to spin around like a frickin' Gatling gun. He's a really cool character to say the least, but he also has another special ability where his suit has like all these eyeballs all over it, and they're twitching constantly like something out of frickin' Silent Hill, and essentially they're able to watch the movements of whoever he's fighting, every single movement they do, the minute they breathe, the minute they're about to move, the minute they're going to attack, and because of this, he can anticipate any of their moves, and he decides to just go ahead and start rocking the crap out of Ryuko, knocking the crap out of her left and right, and then eventually she comes up with this really crazy move where a part of her uniform is cut off and it turns back into the fabric, and it gets in Sanageyama's eyes so he can't see, so she's able to take him out, and that's pretty much the end of the first battle, and this was really shocking. I really didn't think this guy was going to get taken out that easily. But like I said, luckily there is a second battle at the end of the episode, which is really awesome. Now, Satsuki has a rule. You lose, you're out of the school. However, Sanageyama is not going to give up that easily, so he gets some help from this like sewing club member, and he asks him to sew his eyes shut. Now, it actually doesn't look gruesome at all. In fact, it actually looks like he has those, like, stars on his eyes. It looks kind of strange at first. But this impresses Lady Satsuki, and she decides to let him fight against Ryuko one more time. And this is when we get to see that his abilities have actually been kicked up to 11. Now that he doesn't have to rely on using those eyes anymore, he can sense everything much better. And in their second battle, he just runs all over Ryuko. She just gets the crap beat out of her, and as he's about to actually finish her off in the battle, his suit suddenly disappears because he's basically been overexerting himself, and this gives Ryuko a chance to run away. At the end of the episode, we get to see that Sanageyama is going to be sticking around. In fact, he's even wearing this brand new bandana around his head that has these fake eyes on it. It looks pretty damn awesome, and you can definitely tell that he's a lot stronger now. All of his senses have been heightened. This was a badass action episode of Kill la Kill, and there were a lot of other little things I didn't even mention. There's a scene where Satsuki actually gets to talk to her mother for a very brief second. Her mother actually asks about why she took out her wedding dress. That's what she called it. I'm guessing that's what the suit is that she's wearing, the kamui. And there's also a whole nother scene at the beginning of the episode when you get to see that they're bringing in a lot of brand new life fibers. I don't know where that's going to be going. All I know is there's still a lot of really intriguing things about this world. But this episode right here, freaking awesome. Such good animation. All of the fight scenes were really, really fun and very brutal, especially when Ryuko was just constantly getting, like, pounded by the freaking bamboo swords, just left and right. The animation this week, as usual, for Kill la Kill was absolutely gorgeous. All of the fight scenes were really impressive, especially at the end when Sanageyama got his big upgrade. I love the scene when he was literally, like, beating her and hitting her with his bamboo sword as they were climbing up this giant spike, and he just sends her flying into the air. It actually gets pretty brutal towards the end, but still it manages to, you know, still be kind of goofy and fun at the same time, and that's what I like most about this series. A lot of the time, too, is, like, it's so crazy, but they play it straight, like, all the time. Like, this is serious a lot of the time. That's not to say there isn't any comedy, but still, this was definitely more of an intense episode, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it a lot. Obviously, all the moments were good, all the music was good, animation, art, everything this week just worked. It was just a fully entertaining episode, and this was just one of the members of the Elite Four, so I cannot wait to see what everybody else is capable of. And also, there's just a lot of little details and things like in the background. Look for stuff. You're going to see a lot of little hidden things and just little things you can look for. Something I noticed in this episode that I thought was particularly funny, that one member of the Elite Four, whenever he talks, he has this collar. Whenever he talks, it goes away like this. And then when he's done talking, back to normal. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny and something I never even noticed before. But awesome episode. Zero complaints on this one. Just another awesome, badass episode of Kill la Kill. Possibly the best anime of the year, at least for me anyway. If you guys have not seen it, this is your chance. Check it out. It is awesome. So if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Kill la Kill, what did you think of the battle between Ryuko and Sanageyama? You can let me know about your favorite moments in the comments below. Remember guys, before you leave, make sure and hit that like button. Give this video a thumbs up. It really is one of the best ways to support our videos. That, and you can see some of the other videos that we have released. It truly helps us out in the best way possible. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.